Baruch Hashem, Kanai Nahar, so many boys through the system, and the support has been unwavering. Thank you very much. Mr. and Mrs. Akiva Balter, Askonim par excellence, and a childhood friend. Akiva's got his hand all over the city, Baruch Hashem, and all for good things. Thank you very much for all the trust in sending all of your sons to the Cheder and Atzlacha Rabbah in the future. Achron Chaviv to Mr. and Mrs. Shlomo Hofstetter, who's been a tremendous addition to the board. Shlomo, I know your parents are very proud of you, and I'm sure your Zayd is looking down from Shemayim and beaming with much nachas. All of our honorees have something in common, that they're all leaving the Cheder, but they're not leaving the Cheder. Once you join the Cheder family, you're here forever. The next person that I want to talk about is Rabbi Shmuel Mordechai Horowitz, who has been... We really should stand up, please. Please stand up. Rabbi Horowitz deserves all the tireless work, months and months and months for this campaign, all with a smile and positivity. Where will we be with Rabbi Horowitz? Thank you, Rabbi Horowitz. Shkayach. A special thank you to Rabbi Benny and Rabbi Vrami for coming to enhance our event. We had a beautiful kumsitz today for our younger Talmidim and our older Talmidim with Rabbi Benny, and our Talmidim loved every second of it. I'd like to mention 4 groups of people who truly make our Cheder wonderful. First of all, our amazing Talmidim. Time and time again, our Talmidim rise to the occasion and they perform beyond our expectations. Just to tell you a thing that happened today, we had a kumsitz for our older grades that lasted for a half hour. Right after the kumsitz, we davened mincha. We flawlessly transitioned from singing Hartzig and Nagunim to davening a beautiful mincha. And although afterwards everybody was itching to go greet Rabbeni and ask him for whatever they wanted to ask him for, they all went to the Lemulicho classes. I could go on and on. There's going to be a seam tomorrow, Mr. Shem, Leila Nishmas, Mr. Hofstetter, Zechrein Levracha. Talmidim took Masechtas. It's going to be a Kiddush Hashem. Our Talmidim truly have risen La'elo Leila. Our incredible board of directors, they have missed a payroll in now 15 years. This special evening is dedicated to them. Recently, they made the decision to significantly raise the salaries of our staff at Great Mesiras Nefesh. Thank you, Rabbi Yisrael, for everything you do. Our truly wonderful parents and grandparents for always being a beacon of light and support and making us all feel like one part of one big Cheder family. Thank you. And Achron Chaviv, for the men who are sitting here. If you look at the middle here, you'll see our one-of-a-kind Rabbeim and Moros on the other side. They have infused the Cheder with a spirit of simcha and professionalism and make it a joy for our Talmidim to arrive to the Cheder each and every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's interesting that the Nesim are mentioned in Parshas Bamidbar, Parshas Nosei, and Parshas Ba'aleischa. The Torah uses 2 words to describe a tribe of Klal Yisrael. It's either Shevet or Mata. And we know that Shevet and Mata both mean stick. And the shaila is, what shaykhis, what connection is there between a stick and a Mata and a tribe? And why are the Nesim described as being the Nasi Lamate and the Nasi L'Shevet? So Rashi in Parshas Nosei says, Hey Nesiya Mates, he says, Shahayu Shaitrim Aleim b'Mitzrayim, Vayumukim Aleim Shenemar, Vayuku Shaitre B'nei Yisrael. We know that in Mitzrayim, there were three levels. There was the Eved, there was a slave, there was a Shaiter, the Jewish policeman, who had to ensure to the Mitzri Sarmas that the quota would be finished every single day. If the quota was not finished, the Shaiter got beat with a stick. It was these people who were literally Meiser Nefesh for their brothers, who took blows time and time. They were chosen to be the Nesiim. I think the lesson is very important. It's not the biggest Talmud Chacham. It's not the one who knows Shas. Those are very important. But it's the people who are ready to be leaders, who are constantly looking to help others and don't think about Zikr at all. Tonight is the yahrzeit of my father, Olav Shalom. It's 5 years since Patira. And I know I'm not going to speak about him now, but I know that for years and years and years, whenever I would go visit him, he would tell me, when are you getting a new building? I know that he'd be very, very proud of walking into our beautiful campus every single day and seeing the Talmidim daven and learn Yehi Zichrei Baruch. I'd like to close with the following Maisa. There was a Rav in France who was a Rav for many years, and they made him a farewell Suda. And they asked him at the Suda, what inspired you to be so giving and want to help people like you did? He said, I want to tell you a story. When I grew up in Yerushalayim, and we were desperately poor. I was a Yasam, didn't have a father, and we barely had what to eat. And this was in the 70s, by the way. This wasn't that long ago. And it was so bad that I only had rags to wear, mamash rags. I begged my mother, I said, Ma, for Rosh Hashanah, could you buy me a new shirt? Please, could you buy me a new shirt? And my mother, mamash, scrimped and saved and did whatever she could. And she managed to buy me a beautiful shirt. And she presented me the shirt, Erev Rosh Hashanah. I put it on. I didn't have a jacket, had ripped pants, but I had a new shirt. And I went to shul, and I figured I'm going to show all the people, look at me, I'm wearing a new shirt. But unfortunately, it was Rosh Hashanah time, people were busy, nobody knew my shirt. So I have to tell you, I walked home a little dejected, a little upset. I got this new shirt, nobody said anything. So as I'm walking home, I see this great throng of people. It was the Ger Hasidim, and they were going quickly to the Beis Yisrael to get a bracha on Rosh Hashanah. And I said, come Yingala, come. And they kind of slipped me with them. And I got carried away, and before I knew it, I'm standing in the Beis Medrash of the Beis Yisrael. I'm getting closer and getting closer and closer. And he says, good yontif to everybody, and wishes them a good yar. And finally, it's my turn. I get there, and he nods to me, wishes me a good yar. And all of a sudden, there's a commotion. Call back the Bachar. I come back to the Rebbe. He looks at my shirt, he touches, he goes, pshh. And I left. It was that pshh that kept me going all the years. If the great Rebbe of the Beis Yisrael could notice what I got, I realized that I have to do for Klal Yisrael. Rabbi Isai, you're here tonight. Baruch Hashem, our Meister is thriving, and it's all due to you, the parents and Rabbeim. Thank you for coming and enjoy your evening.
Your attention to the screens for our first video presentation.
Kiva is a leiv toiv, always looking to help people with avarma hearts. rooted in Hasidus, with his deep-rooted emunah.
Now, Akiva loves making people love the Rebbeinu Shalom. He's a behind-the-scenes producer, and he produces a Havas Yisrael and the Havas Hashem. He's not judgmental. He just wants you to develop the Avos Hashem and the Avos HaMitzvahs and the Avos Yisrael in your way. You see it in how they operate their household, and you see it in how they raise their children.
To be noise ba'olim chaveirei, to celebrate and be mesameach, and at the same time be there as a shoulder for people to lean on.
I am in awe of all the chesed that's being done in the city, but of course it starts at home. My wife has a gemach for furniture and for clothing, and I have to tell you that the garage sometimes doesn't look like Akiva's garage, it looks more like an IKEA garage. She's aware of anybody who needs something and tries to fill that need.
Akiva Balter is a quintessential Askan to the Siyam Hashas, but he wasn't just a passenger. He was there encouraging and what he did, what he's done during COVID, bringing people together through Zoom and spreading the Agudas Daf Yomi to many, many people that are homebound. He does this all Lishma.
The Cheder has been an amazing school. All the boys have gone here through the system, through grade 8. They found the way to specialize for each kid, first of all, what do they need? In addition to that, as a school, what should be our focus? How do we maintain the past and yet have feet in the present? And they've managed to balance the two. On a daily or a weekly basis, when we see our children grow up and discover a new idea of learning, something new that they've said at the Shabbos table, how could you not feel Hakaras Tov to the school they go to, and the Cheder in particular? So when Rabbi Engel called and asked us to be spotlighted for this year's dinner, I said, of course, I'm going to check with my wife first. And surprisingly, she both felt an immense Hakaras Tov and an opportunity for Hakaras Tov to the school for everything they've put into our children. And it's chesed repaid.
The Rebbeinu Shalom should always be with you and your family. Wherever you go, you should be zeicha to every bracha in the world. Baruch Nitzah v'gashmias, parnasa, health, Yiddish anacha, shalom bayis, shemayim, good shidduchim, wonderful children, wonderful eniklach, and you should be zeicha to reach your goal, and that is to bring closer to the Rebbeinu Shalom in the ultimate way through the bringing of Mashiach Tzidkenu Sheyaveh B'Meir V'Yameinu. Amen.
The Rebbe Kiv, Carmel Balter Sheyichyu, Shenivchu Lekabel Kvoid, Eiskim Mitzrachet Tzibor, the Nishmas B'Yayisim Tzipar Balter, Olayim Hashalom, Lois Hukra, Cheder Toronto, Dinish Nasi, Tovshim Pebeis.
The essential Aaron White's is not the chiropractor, and he does a lot of chesed on the professional practice level, but we're going way beyond the walls of the chiropractic practice because he's really a Baal Chesed inside and out. They're really effectively under the radar. One remarkable story amongst dozens and dozens of stories. But you know, he has a friend who had a child who was unwell for a while, and he took it upon himself to set up that chavrusa shop with his chavrusa downtown Toronto every day, not for weeks but for months. And Shabbos he would walk down every week in the minus 20 frigid temperatures that we enjoy here in Toronto. This is just something that is part of them, part of who they are. And there's just so much to learn from this family, from this couple. This may sound very cliche, but Torah is their focus. Their drive is Torah. The embodiment of their life is Torah. Everything that they do. Some people go to work and then try to find time in the morning to learn a little bit and eke out a little bit of time at night. No, his day is Torah, and you should up a little bit of work in the middle of the day, but the focus is Kulo Torah.
All our boys go through, almost, and Baruch Hashem, every one of them, are happy with who they are and growing in Torah. And we have a lot to thank the Cheder for.
They are parents that really, really care about the chinuch of their children. They're on top of things. They call me rather than I call them, making sure that everything's okay. And they have a unique understanding of each boy's kaiches and how much they can be pushed and when not to push. And look at the Paris. Beautiful boys staggering away in yeshiva. And the parents, I have to say the parents get all the credit.
It's unbelievable. Such incredible parents, so in tune with their children for the best, want to make sure that everything's going amazing, that their children are succeeding to the best level possible. They're so involved in the chinuch of their children.
One of our children was in grade 3 at the time, and he had to have a medical test done. And the test required that he was awake all night. And so we were only 3 weeks into the Cheder. We had no relationship with Rabbi Engel or any of the others. And Rabbi Engel called my wife, and he said, Mrs. Weitz, I'd like to take your son between 5 and 6:30 in the morning. And Rabbi Rubanowitz, and he said he would like to take our son between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning. Now, I don't know of any other school in existence that would do such a thing. He had no connection to us. There was no reason for this.
One of the things that I would like to wish for Aaron and Yafa is continued hatzlacha in the way they're living their lives. And the Eibishter, would continue to bench them, in the magical way that they do chesed. This would be one of the greatest benefits for us, for them to be mashpia us, to become better people.
For sure, my wife deserves the honor. I mean, for sure, way more. I mean, every mother probably deserves honor. My wife in particular, I would say.
We wish for them, b'derech she'adam reitzilech, malichan I say, they want their children to be accomplished Talmidei Chacham, steig away in yeshiva. They're making beautiful shidduchim now with their son and with their daughter. And they're seeing the nachas. They put so much.
Rabbi Shlomo Aaron v'Yafo Weitz, sheyichyu, shenivchru lekabel kavod, keser shem tov, lo yisukro cheder Torah to dinner shnasi tov.
Rabbi Morgan has the geschmack and excitement and energy from 6:45 in the morning when we're at Shachris together, bringing a smile to everyone's faces.
He loves what he does. And when it comes to Torah, don't just do it because you have to do it. You daven Shachris, you put on tefillin, do it because that's what talks to you. When we say in the morning, V'hariv no Hashem Elokeinu, the Torah should be sweet. Is the Torah sweet or is it not sweet? The answer is we should feel that it's sweet. When you feel it sweet, then you obviously teach the kids with passion, with a geschmack, with an enjoyment.
He's a star Rebbe. Rabbi Morgan
has full control over his class, but it's not just having control. He teaches them in such a clear fashion, they know the teichen.
They are just the most chesed-oriented family, caring, loving, and just always a smile.
You know, if you're in a bad mood, you want to bump into Rabbi Morgan. Because, you know, where he is, there's always a good mood. There's always the light shining. There's always a smile, always a joke.
He knows everyone, and everyone knows him. It's just like anybody he meets, he somehow figures out how he knows their relative and how he's related, or just even if he's not related, he becomes a relative at that point in time, one way or another.
He's good-natured. He can walk into anywhere. He'll make connections with half the room, if not the entire room. From somehow, he's that personality. He's an unbelievable star Rebbe. Top.
He's a person with a chinuch. He's a person with a Messiah. His father was a Chashva Yid, and he learned by Chashva people, and he brings that with him, and he has like vision. He has that division of the old, and he has a certain standard. He has a certain standard of learning, of excellence, of discipline. He maintains it with being this super geschmacky guy.
The Cheder took somebody that had zero experience, and every other place did not even want somebody like that because he has no experience. And Rabbi Engel, Chazdei Varachbei, took in someone with no experience, and he built us up, built me up, and it has really been an unbelievable experience going professionally. I see with all the different classes that we have had and the different gatherings together, learning from other people, it has really been an unbelievable experience for myself and for my family.
And you see from his kids, you know, the proof is in the pudding, I guess you'd say, from his Talmidim and from his kids. Baruch Shem Kain Har, an unbelievable family, a mishpacha like that, and Talmidim that he has, he's passionate about it. He's an amazing Rebbe.
My wife really should get all the credit for this because, you know, I owe tremendous hakaras hatov to her for allowing me to grow and to do this and experience and seeing in her helping me to be able to grow to where I am.
And they should continue with their tremendous kaiches. Rabbi Yishaya and his Rebbitzin, my cousins from both sides. I only wish the best for them. Whatever it is, they should just continue to have use their tremendous kaiches that they both have. Right? In Ve'agef, and they both have tremendous kaiches.
And that's my bracha to the whole family, Morgan family. Should continue having nachas from their own children. The Cheder should gain from it. We should all gain from it as Klal Yisrael.
Matana Laharav Avram Yishaya V'chaya Gittel Morgan Sheyichyu Shenivchru Lekabel Kavod Marbitz Torah La'ois Akara Cheder Toronto Dinner Shnasi Tafshin Pei Beis. It's very heavy. Hold it tight. Hold it tight. You know what that is, right? No. That's when we got all our name together. Look at it.
Oh, careful.
Very heavy.
It's two pieces.
Two pieces, right? Okay, tell Ben you got the... What am I supposed to do with it? I can leave it over here.
Shifti beveis Hashem Kol yimei chayai V'ilach zois b'no yam Hashem Kol yimei chayai Ulevaker, ulevaker Choloi Kol yimei chayai Shifti beveis Hashem Kol yimei chayai I lach so is bin do ya Hashem kol yemei chayai ulevaker becholo kol yemei chayai Ya khasava khava shuvaliti hay me sashem oy so avakesh oy so avakesh oy shifti bebeis Hashem kol yemei chayai I lach so is b'no yam Hashem kol yemei chayai ulevaker becholoi kol yemei chayai shis Hashem kol yemei chayai lach so is b'no yam Hashem kol yemei chayai ulevaker becholoi kol yemei chayai
If I can please ask you to find your seats and give your attention to the screens. We are going to be showing the tribute video to Mr. Sandy Hofstetter Zatzal. Please sit down. Thank you.
We need a yeshiva in Toronto, nobody had a yeshiva. I had no choice to accept, and he did everything, and then my name was, I am a vice president, and I spoke to him. After 6 months, he got a heart attack, such a serious heart attack, so the whole thing, it was on my shoulder. And what he told me, Meir Lebavik, and that's the punchline, he says, you don't know what I am offering to you, not the vice presidents. If you will be getting involved in a yeshiva, it will shape your life, it will shape your children, you will be involved with the Rabbonim, you will be all involved in that kind of circles, and that will shape your life for the future. And that was the truth. That did shape my life, and that's Shevach, I do it to Rabbeinu Shloim, that we managed that, and that's the reason I was successful to raise such a wonderful children. They all went to Neir Yisroel, they all had a good education. And
my parents enormous inspiration for the Torah world at large. They were Holocaust survivors. They came to a foreign land, and there was not that much Torah in Toronto at that time. It was an incredible burden to rebuild Torah, and Torah wasn't that well accepted by many segments of the community. And the Rebbeinu Shalom gave them the Siyata D'Shmayim, and gave them Bracha V'Hatzlacha. And they succeeded, and they inspired and rebuilt this city, and they around the world.
I first got to know him back in the 70s when I came to Yeshiva, and I was amazingly impressed by his acumen, being a businessman. And I remember my shver once said to him, this man could be a Rosh Yeshiva.
His anivus was unbelievable. He was an Erlich Yid. He was a Talmid Chacham. When the Magachir of the Daf was not around, Sandy gave the Daf.
He was focused, he was determined, and at the same time, he was a very loving and caring person. He was able to work with a group of diverse people and be able to bring them to a common cause in a time where that wasn't the norm. And he was able to do that because he was able to relate to people.
He sat right behind me, and I saw something which I had never seen before, who davened every word of Shemona Esrei. Now, maybe it was because he was hard of hearing at the end of his life, or maybe he always did it, but the whole silent Shemona Esrei was audible. You could hear it. And a person at that age, you can't make it up. If you're davening your whole life with love like that, that means you could continue when you're that age. But you can't start at that age. And this is the proof what Mr. Hofstetter really was his entire life. I didn't have much else to do with him besides for this Shemona Esrei, but that Shemona Esrei really struck a chord in me.
Quite frankly, there's very few things that I do that I don't think in the back of my mind, what would my father-in-law do in such circumstances? He was always gentle, he was always honest, he was always straightforward, he always thought about what the other person needs. He always kept his eye on the big picture. And I think most importantly, he felt very strongly that whatever he did was really to make a Kiddush Hashem. And because of that, he conducted himself with the utmost level of honesty and integrity.
In business, his ethics were beyond reproach. There was a Mesilas Yesharim on his desk. I think it's still there. He also was very cognizant of dealing with the Umas Ha'olam, that we shouldn't chas v'chalila make a chil Hashem. Every once in a while, I'd come into the office when he had already been handing over the business to others and the business was growing at a phenomenal pace, wanting to know, because we had many different employees, and he wanted to know if we're still doing business on Amsterdam away. He would check with me on that from time to time, and he'd want to hear it. That's the type of Yid he was, even after he retired.
His focus really was always on community involvement, whether it was Neir Yisrael, whether it was the mikveh, whether it was the shul.
He was also a person who did things betina that people never saw. The public saw the moistus that he supported and the public life, which
He was, of course, prone to be seen by everybody, but he didn't. Most people weren't aware of these hidden tzedakahs, hidden chesed that he used to do all the time.
I think my father-in-law really cared about people. And that came through with his askanas. He cared about the seats of the yeshiva bachrim. He cared about the experiences that they would have, if the food was good enough, if the rebbeim were taken care of. He cared intensely about the well-being of the rebbeim.
He was extremely formed by his rebbeim, which he remembers still from the Altahim, and that left an indelible impression. He always had a great appreciation of what a rebbe can do for a talmid.
He had a strong sense of responsibility and of taking action.
As my grandfather got older, he used to, when talking about his obligation to Klal, he would look back and see the meises that he was involved with and the meises he helped build up and the impact it had in the Toronto community. And you knew that he had a certain smile and contentment about it.
Whether it was his passion for tzedakahs for Meir Balanes, or whether it was something that he picked up later in Canada, which was to build yeshivas and to get involved in yeshivas. When he decided that that's what he wants to focus on, he put his full energy in it, and he made it known to everybody how important it was to build yeshivas. And his famous line of, more than what you're doing for the yeshiva, being involved in the yeshiva is doing for you.
That willingness to help the tzibur and help meises is something which I think the children have learned and the grandchildren will learn, and we all must learn.
If there's a strong lesson that I think my grandfather imparted to us, and I've heard this from a number of people in the city, that if there's a need in the community, don't shy away from it. Commit yourself to something, even if it takes you beyond your comfort zone.
His legacy was that we don't live for the current moment. He was a chacham, which a chacham means reis and oilet. We're not here for today. He always spoke about oilam haba. He always spoke about living a Mesilas Yesharim life, and he always lived for the Kehillah.
We should all be inspired by all of these lessons, and ganz Klal Yisrael should have all the bracha v'hatzlach and be as goyal b'meher b'yimei.
We just saw but a small glimpse into the life of our grandfather and his love for Torah and Askanas. While our grandfather's legacy will Be'ezras Hashem live on through the tens of thousands of people who benefit from the many moises he was involved in, the Toronto Cheder also wishes to help perpetrate our grandfather's mission through the inauguration of a new honor. An honor bestowed upon individuals who embrace our grandfather's ideals, the ideals of Torah, Chesed, and Askanas. We are proud to give this inaugural award, the Reb Sandy Hofstetter Zecher Tzadik Levracha Young Leadership Award, to our very own Mr. and Mrs. Shlomo Hofstetter. Please turn your attention towards the screen to get an idea why Shlomo and Razel Chana were selected as the Riz Award.
Shlomo is really an amazing person. He incorporates really the qualities that he's seen both in his father and his mother and his grandparents, and he gets things done. He's involved in so many things in a quiet way. It's really remarkable.
He was on the board in our shul many years. He's a very kahal
person. He words, but when he has something to say, it's with consideration of what needs to be said and a valid opinion, and very much, I would say, following the footsteps of my father.
The Hofstetter family is synonymous with chesed and leadership. Shlomo is a leader in his own right. His seichel-dik and pragmatic ways on the board is a tremendous asset for the yeshiva and the school.
my involvement with the Cheder is something that runs close to my heart. Firstly, my father was involved since infancy, and that's something I saw as a young kid. And I saw the Cheder grow from being in the basement of a shul to the beautiful school that it is today. Very humbling for me to be on the board with some people who, as my father, Mike Janowski, Kamal Lowenthal, who were involved in the Cheder since its infancy. They've seen a lot of things come and go, and it's amazing to see how years later, and in touch with the Rabbanim they are about the school, and they really feel in their cries for the school. And it's a wonderful role model for me as a young board member to see.
Rav Shlomo Hofstadter joined our Cheder as a parent many years ago, and he's always been very, very involved in the chinuch of his children. I still remember when he lived in New York, he'd come in for Yontif, he'd speak to me about it. What are they going to learn? How are they going to learn? I want to tell you, his two boys, Yosef and Menachem, beautiful paradigms of what we want a Cheder boy to look like. Simcha, Me'orv Mabriyas, they like people, they're cheerful, they come to Cheder every day happy. Yosef now, Baruch Hashem, is doing very well in Nei Yisrael. Menachem is graduating again. Sad to see a great family go, but this is a family that's going to continue the shaykhs. Shlomo is very active on our board, always steps up when we need someone to step up, and we know we're going to have the shaykhs for many years.
We're very proud and happy that this year when the Cheder had their breakfast reunion for the alumni, our son Yosef was so excited to go back. He really felt a part of the Cheder. He feels an allegiance to the Cheder. On his level, he has strong type of the Cheder. And we have a strong type of the Cheder. He felt so connected.
Shlomo's a great friend, somebody that really, really cares about the chinuch of his children. I definitely think that we can all grow by paying attention to the way Shlomo deals with his children in chinuch.
It's not fun to be honored, but Reza Khan and I chose to accept this because we have a type of the Cheder. We're thrilled with the chinuch our boys received, the relationship with their Rebbeim, and the overall affection they have for the Cheder. And if this is something that could help the Cheder, and something we feel obligated, we feel we have enough rights to pay back the Cheder.
You should continue to have siyata d'shmaya. You should continue to have shefa, bracha, hatzlacha in the chinuch of his children that he invests so much into all the avodas hakodesh that he's involved in, and ultimately in being and continue to be a nachas to the Eibishter.
They're going to see a lot of nachas from their entire family. They have many, many schusim. They're maimed Torah. They uphold the Torah. They're examples of what a family of Torah should look like, and they're going to see a lot of nachas and bracha from their entire mishpacha. Rav Shlomo Reza Khan Hofstadter Sheyichyu Shenivchu L'Kabel Kavod, Rav Sandy Hofstadter Zal Young Leadership Award, Lais Hukra Cheder Toronto Dinner Shnasi Tavshim Pei Beis.
Amr Yeshua ben Levi. Making Masima Mesech Zuksin by the Amr Yeshua ben Levi. Asa Kadosh Baruch Hu La'an Chilachol Tzadik V'Tzadik Shloish Meyas V'Asor Alamais. In the future, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give to each Tzadik V'Tzadik 310 worlds. Shenemar Lahanchil Oyave Yesh V'Itzuseim Amale. I will give to those who I love Yesh V'Itzuseim Amale, and I will fill them with warehouses. Perhaps not coincidental, we're talking about the Rebbeinu Shalom will give to each tzaddik warehouses and fill them with warehouses. Amar Rabbi Shua, Yesh, the simple meaning of Yesh, care of those that he loves them. But the numerical value of Yesh is 310. Amr B'Shimon Ben Chalafta, Lo Matza Kadosh Baruch Hu Kli Machzir Bracha LiYisrael Ela Shalom. HaKadosh Baruch Hu could not find any Kli that could hold Bracha LiYisrael, only Shalom, only peace. Shenemar, Hashem Oiz Li'am Yitein, Hashem gives strength to Klal Yisrael. With how does he give them strength? He gives them strength with Hashem Yivarech Es Amei V'Shalom. By blessing them with the bracha of peace, which is also appropriate for Shita to the Mishnah of Ahadra Chalan. Data Chalan, Shita to the Mishnah of Data Chalan. Ladies Nashi Minach, Shita to the Mishnah of Lesishan Shnei Minan. Leiva Alma Hadain, Leima Alma Hadasi. Hadra Chalan, Shita to the Mishnah of Hadra Chalan. Data Chalan, Shita to the Mishnah of Data Chalan. Lesishan Minan, Shita to the Mishnah of Lesishan Shnei Minan. Leiva Alma Hadain, Leima Alma Dasa. Hadra Lach, she just the Mishnah of Hadra Chalan, Data Chalan, she just the Mishnah of Data Chalan, Lesishan Minan, she just the Mishnah of Lesishan Minan, Levam Madem Lamad Asa. Hadra Lach said it to Haris for Hadra Chalan, Data Chalan said it to Haris for Data Chalan. Lesishan Minan said it to Haris for Lesishan Minan, Levam Madem Lamad Asa. Hadra Chalan said it to Haris for Hadra Chalan, Data Chalan said it to Haris for Data Chalan, Lesishan Minan said it to Haris for Lesishan Minan, Levam Madem Lamad Asa. Hadra Chalan said it to Haris for Hadra Chalan, Data Chalan said it the Harsh for the Sishan of Manan, Levam Hadain Lama Dasa. Harabna, the Nile Hinu, Space Raska, Befinu, Befias Amcha, Besrol, and Nachu, Kulanu, Vanachum, Sasenim, Saseanum, Saseamcha, Base Israel, Kulanu Yadeshamacha, Valam de Susecha, Lishma. Maybe the remaining Mrs. Secha, Kiloilam Hili, Yidibi Samim, Hukachan Man Evosh, Lelma Eshka, Budecha, Vam Chisani, Baruchata, Dinai, Lamdeni Hukacha, Amen, 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 Salavad. Maidan Ivanach, the Nile Himalaya Vesenu, Samta, Chalkim Yoshu Besamedesh, Lam Yoshu Krona, Shani Mashkim, Mashkim, Ani Mashkim, the Veteran, Mashkim, the Vermatalim, Ani Amavam, the Malam, Amni Amakab Sachar, and Malam in Makam Sachar, Ani Rats, Vahim Rats, and Rats Chaim above, Him Rats and Vashacha, Shamba told him to Dame, the Vashacha, Shedamim, Mirma, Loyuchu, May, Mani of the Bach, Rats and Vanach, and the Himalaya Vesenu, Shim's Tani Lasam, City to Horace, Kach, the Jenny Lahaskas farm, Mahim the Simon. Limin Alamid Mutacha Chava, the Shmo Lasus, the Kaim is called the Baysam to Second Bahava. Schus Kola Tanay, Mamroim, Tamidecha Chaman is come, Besed the Tars, Kola Swam Shalamadati. Yamali, Shalasham Shatar, Akadesha, Pizari, Vizari, Zari, Matava Delam. You can't be making Mika Shakasov, Isalacha Tancha Isach, Beshabacha Tishmar Lecha, Bakitsai Hitisacha, Ki V Yirbu Yamecha, Vyasiv Lachash Chaim, Urchem, Minam, Bishmala Ishabacha, Adonism, Metena, Adonai, Vrachs Meva Shalom. The Hadis Lahal, the Shabech, the Four, the Rem, the Hadil, the Seach. I called the Rishur Tishbachas David Ben Yisha Abdacham Shikacha, Basasra Sancheni Bachar to cover the Chacheni, Burachim Mechab Omna Layashkas, Verhibalash Vapil Chamasai, Asher Gevish at the Center Yom to Rasul Salam, Denu, and Bachas without the Yugel, Bishacha Shula Gigamalai. Say so. Bil Sadaka Yatani, Kachasni Khan Pe'er Vacha Kalata de Chaleha, Vituch Vadish Mechad, Kiloi Azafta de Shacha Denoi.
Yiskadal v'yiskadash Shmei Rabba Amadi Asilas Charatel L'chaya Masya L'Aska Yisran L'chaya Alma Livne Karasad Yerushalayim Sachla Hechla Bana L'Mekar B'Luchana Nuchra Min Ara L'Pluchana D'Ishmai L'Asravin L'Kucha B'Richu K'zei Chaychon M'Chaychon M'Chay D'Chol Beis Yisrael B'Galav Zman Karivru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabba M'Barach L'Momei Omaya It's Rach Vishtabach, Visvar, Visram, Visnase, Visadar, Visala, Visalal, Shmei Kucha, Brechu, Leila Kabrachas, Vishirasa, Chushachas, Nechamasa, Demabama, Vimru Amen, Al Yisrael Rabbanan, Val Tamideon, Val Kol Tamidei Salmideon, Al Kol Mandas Kimbaraiset, Visredem Chalasar, Tamarabba, Chin of Chizda Rachman, Chaina Richan, Zenriche, Perkonamin, Kadam Shvaya, Barabim, Amen, Yesh Lam Rab Mishmaim, Chaimalim, Israel, Bimru Amen. Yasser Shalom Bimru Avu Yasser Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael Bimru Amen.
אשריכם, 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 תלמידי חכמים. אשריכם, 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 תלמידי חכמים. שדברי תורה חביבים, חביבים עליכם ביוסף. שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם ביוסף. איי 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 בוא 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 אהבתי זוירוסךו זוירוסךו כל היום הישיכו ושיח אוי 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 בוא 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 אהבתי זוירוסךו זוירוסך הישיכו ושיח איי איי אשריכם תלמידי חכמים שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם. איי איי אשריכם תלמידי חכמים שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם. אשריכם, 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 תלמידי חכמים. אשריכם, 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 תלמידי חכמים. שדברי תורה חביבים, חביבים עליכם ביוסף. שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם ביוסף. בוא 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 אהבתי זוירוסךו זוירוסךו כל היום הישיכו ושיח. איי 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 בוא 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 אוי בוא אהבתי זוירוסךו זוירוסךו כל היום הישיכו ושיח. איי איי אשריכם תלמידי חכמים שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם. אוי אשריכם תלמידי חכמים שדברי תורה חביבים עליכם. Lo hallelu Elokai v'yesmecho boy v'yosimo osimo sikvo siboy osimo sikvo siboy. Hallelu hallelu Elokai v'yesmecho boy v'yosimo osimo sikvo siboy osimo sikvo siboy. Ay 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 ahoy deni ay besovo boy dam keroy boy kaitsir elikaitsiri ekse boy ahoy deni ay besovo boy dam keroy boy elikaitsiri ekse boy boy hallelujah hallelujah eloika v'yesmecho boy v'yosimo simo simo sikvo siboy. Oy oy hallelujah hallelujah eloika v'yesmecho boy ay v'yosimo simo simo sikvo siboy. Ahoy deni, ay besovo boy dam keroy boy likaitsiri, ekse boy.
be served. Can everyone please find their seats? The main course is now being served.
We would like to serve the main course, and it's very difficult if people are standing. If we can please ask you to sit down so that we can serve the main course and you can enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Can we ask everyone to please find your seats so we can serve the main course? Ladies, please find your seats. Thank you.
Hayde Shema Ist doch kein Besser so auf die Welt Hayde Shema Oh, wie bitte, wenn sie fällt Wie schön und lichtig ist in Haus, wenn die Mama ist da. Wie treurig finster wird, wenn Gott nimmt ihr auf Eulam Abo. In Wasser, in Feuer, wollt sie gelaufen vor ihr Kind. Nicht alt in ihre Taille. Du bist die größte Sinn. Oh, wie glücklich und reich ist der Mensch, was so als Hashem in der Matune geschenkt von Gott nur an altitschke jüdische Mame Ay Mame I used to think my mother was a Shabbos queen. She'd stand so regally with royal grace and whisper to the king of the universe, Hashem, in a very special place behind her covered face. I know that she's not asking him for diamonds. My noble mother doesn't ask for gold. She's asking him to help me study always and to let her eyes behold the joy as she grows old. Oh, and when I grow up, no matter what life brings, Hashem will give me the strength I need to handle it, and I will walk by the light of 1,000 Friday nights and the tefillos of my mother who always has her candles lit. Oh, and when I grow up, no matter what life brings, Hashem will give me the strength I need to handle it, and I will walk by the lights of 1,000 Friday nights and the tefillos of my mother who always has her candles lit. Oh, and when I grow up, no matter what life brings, Hashem will give me the strength I need to handle it, and I will walk by the lights of 1,000 Friday nights and the tefillos of my mother who has her candles lit. As I stand in candlelight with my hands upon my eyes, there's a passion in my prayers that rends the skies. For a mother's tears can shatter every gate that bars the way. All the heavens will echo those words that mothers say. Vizakeni, Vizakeni, take my children by the hand, help them walk along your way. May they never go astray. May they know you as I know you. Oh Hashem, accept my plea. Give me children who give nachas. Vizakeni, 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 take my children by the hand, help them walk along your way. May they never go astray. May they know you as I know you. Oh Hashem, accept my plea. Give me children who give nachas. Vizakeni. Vizakeni, Vizakeni, take my children by the hand, help them walk along your way. May they never go astray. May they know you as I know you. Oh Hashem, accept my plea. Give me children who give nachas. Vizakeni. My children by the hand, help them walk along your way. May they never go astray. May they know you as I know you. Oh Hashem, accept my plea. Give me children who give nachas. Vizakeni, umirim esor yilo. Batiro masim toivim, uvechol meleches avodah. Uvechol meleches avodah savoire. Oh, yumirim esor yilo, ubatiro. Ubechol meleches avodah savoire. Oh, yumirim esroi lo, batiro masim toivim. Ubechol
We did this song earlier in the Cheder this afternoon, and I couldn't remember all the words, so we're going to do it again tonight. Hopefully I'll do a better job, but if not, okay. You'll sing along and you'll correct me. Here we go. I see him at the Cheder, I see him all the time, and even when I leave him, can't get him off my mind. Ki em chayenu, Yisitz around. Times I watch him fail, the learning and the struggle, the nachas and the pain. Ki em chayenu, 'cause it's a Rebbe's life. Say one more capital, gonna pray that he'll succeed. In our hand, 49 shall be Sravan, all the leaders tomorrow will see. He sits a Rebbe. And the Torah we teach is a flame that will reach every heart and soul for generations to be. So many years later, I've left it all behind, but Yankele in Cheder will sometimes cross my mind. Ki em chayenu, 'cause it's a Rebbe's life. Then I attend the dinner, I meet the honoree. I say, you look familiar, and Yankel says it's me. Ki em chayenu, yes, it's a Rebbe's life. My Yankel's dedicated to assisting kids in Cheder for whom learning's really tough. He says, Rebbe, I can guide him, 'cause I see the good inside him, and it's all because your love. It's a Rebbe's life. We are the future of the world in our hands. For tonight, Hashem is and all the leaders tomorrow will see. Yes, it's a Rebbe's life. We know every child has got a spark of something special inside. And the Torah we teach is a flame that will reach every heart and soul for generations to be. It's a Rebbe's life, we understand. We've got the future of the world in our hands. 49 shall be all the leaders tomorrow will see. Yes, it's a Rebbe's life. We know every child has got a spark of something special inside. And the Torah we teach is the flame that will reach every heart and soul for generations to be. Oh, for generations to be. For generations to be.
Good evening. About 2 weeks ago, I received a text message which said the following: how many Talmidim are in TTC? Tell you the honest truth, I had a hard time answering the question. Not because I didn't know the number, but for a completely different reason. Let me explain. At the beginning of Parshas Bamidbar, the Torah counts Klal Yisrael. Rashi explains that since Klal Yisrael are so Afal pi shemanan b'chayehen b'shmaisam, chazaru manan b'misasan. Even though HaKadosh Baruch Hu counted Klal Yisrael while they were still alive, He recounted them after they had passed on. Loidiachi basan, to let us know how beloved Klal Yisrael are to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shenimshelu l'koichavim shemaitzian u'machnisan b'misbar v'shmaisam. That they are compared to the stars that have their individual names and numbers. There is halacha that we don't count Yidden directly by number, but rather through indirect means. My Rosh Yeshiva explains that whenever you count a number of items, for example, apples, and give a total sum, you're ignoring the uniqueness of each apple you're counting. The number ignores how big or small it is, or what color it is. Instead, you're just assigning them a number, and this erases all its individual unique qualities. So you erase their individuality. Only HaKadosh Baruch Hu can count in numbers while still retaining the unique identity of each individual. Since we aren't able to do that, we cannot directly count the Yidden by number. Each Yid Shama, that there are only three things, the Gimel Averis Chamurais, that justify a Yid giving up his life. The only reason a person is allowed to give up his life is to show that the Rebbeinu Shalom is the highest value in his life. In those specific situations, he makes a statement that is Avas Hashem. His love for HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the most important value in his life. The Pasuk in Bereshit states that HaKadosh Baruch Hu made Adam B'Tzalmai. Comments B'Tzalmai means B'Dfus Ha'asaylai. B'Tzalmai Rashi is conveying a powerful message. HaKadosh Baruch Hu made each and every one of us we give Shvach V'Eidah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we were able to raise funds way beyond that what we have previously accomplished. But that large number represents roughly 1,400 individuals who boldly declared, yes, I recognize the importance of the Toronto Cheder, its uniqueness, and what it means for our city to have such a Maisad. I too would like to be part of that Maisad and to kindle the spark of the future of Klal Yisrael. So to each of you, our supporters, Es Asher Yeshnei Pai ve'es Asher Einenu Pai, thank you for helping our spark continue to grow brighter and brighter every single day. Putting a number to our Rabbeim, or Rabbi Steinmetz giving over the Torah with such simcha for Kenai Nahara 26 years straight, Kain Yirbu. The dedication of Rabbi Yarmark to ensure the safety and well-being of each Talmud at all times. For the pikchus of our Mefakeach, who has become an invaluable asset in our Cheder and throughout Toronto. The Clarkite of Rabbi Kaf, or how doesn't Rabbi Beagleisen do for our city. By the way he gets to the Sharish Hanshama of each Talmud. And if not for the fact that I can literally feel the glare of the timekeepers, I would go through each and every Rebbe and be Meina Shvachai. To our incredible Rabbeim, and let's not forget the Maris who laid the groundwork for our Talmidim. I say thank you for day in and day out, year after year, you ignite the spark of each Talmud, setting them ablaze in their Avodas Hashem. Getting back to my text, Azure with us, their children. Saying that we have X number of Talmidim in the Cheder would take away from each Talmud's uniqueness. Some Talmidim are so unique that just by saying their first name, a nickname or a family name, immediately a distinct Olam Mole comes to my mind. And parents, you'll know who I'm referring to. Because we don't just have one big growing number of Talmidim. We have an Uri, we have a Zev, we have an Uri Zev, we have Yehuda Zev. one who's here tonight, one who should be hopefully in bed. And we also have Yehuda Dov. There's Chaimi, there's Sibi, there's Benny, there's Hilly. Not Noach, but Noicha. There's Elimelech and Yitzi, who are on time every single day to the minute for Mishnah Yomi. And that's not to be confused with Yitzi, the younger one, who whenever I pass him in the hallway, without fail, I say to him, Yitzi, how are you doing? And he always responds, fine, Rabbi Gobin, Baruch Hashem, how are you? Avrami and Avram, who is 2 years his younger, but both have a smile that will light up a room. And while we have many Avis in our Cheder, Baruch Hashem, my son included, there's no one like Avi in grade 1 who will put a smile on your face no matter what your mood. And when I need to get a message to Meir, I have to stop and think to myself, do they mean Ruvain's brother? Yet there are other times when many boys are coming down the hallway and I have trouble getting other names. So sometimes I'll just go, hey, cats! And a bunch of heads will turn around, Baruch Hashem, with a smile. And while I've definitely referred to Morty as Mendy, and I've definitely called Ellie, Aryeh, and Zev on many occasions, it doesn't take away from their distinctiveness. What can I say? Which parent has it at least once in their life, out of the great love for all their children, gone through their entire family until they've gotten the correct name? So to each one of our parents who are there with us along the journey, I say to you, Umi Talmida Yoser Mikulam, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be partners in chinuch with you. May our children, with their individual qualities and abilities, take the spark of Torah, the Yiras Shamayim that has been lit, and be a blazing source of nachas to you, to your mishpachos, to our cheder, to our city, to Gans Klal Yisrael, and most importantly, to the Rebbeinu Shalom. I now invite you to turn your attention to the screens for a glimpse into our most special cheder, where the passion for learning is ignited every single day. Thank you.
Cheder is like the warmest family. Every day is a new opportunity, a new excitement. When I see
a sign of success. The Cheder is amazing. The Cheder and the Rebbeim are so excited and exuberant all the time. You can't fake that.
What does Mr. Rabbeinu tell you?
It should have said what, boys? What should it have said?
Rabbi Engel has generated in the school a focus to each Talmud, and each Rebbe understands what this gem needs to shine.
There is no one like the Rebbeim of the Toronto Cheder. It's unbelievable. The Chaverschaft, just that friendship that the Rebbeim have.
We share ideas off of each other, and anyone's got a great idea, they go out of their way to let everyone else know about it. We really collaborate and work very well together.
Rabbi Engel, he guides us, he leads us. Rabbi Gopin, he should be benched. He's always there for us in any time of need. Rabbi Horowitz is always there, always making it geschmack to be around.
Baruch Hashem, my office is like a train station. Boys come in at all times and they just sit down, they want to schmooze, they want to talk with each other, with me. Open house. It's all of us working together to get to each individual child.
What I really strongly appreciate in Rabbi Engel's mahalach is that he goes out of his way to engage with the Talmidim.
we actually just made a bar mitzvah, and when I invited Rabbi Engel a couple months ago to come join coming, and we were very touched. We were blown away that he came and spent the whole Shabbos with us, with his wife. And it means a lot to us and to David Aryeh that his principal made the trip, the 6.5, 7 hour drive to spend Shabbos with us.
When you join this place, you become part of the family. We're all in this together.
Every Rebbe has such a Avos Hashem, Avos Torah.
As a Rebbe, I guess the greatest nachas I get is when I see the Talmidim light up when they figure something out in the Gemara. They figure something out in the Chumash. And you see them working, you see them looking inside, and everyone's quiet because they're trying to chap them. What does it mean with it? And the kid goes, I got it. He got his hand up, and you see, he got it. That's the spark.
We owe our undying thanks to our tremendous Rabbeim, who are Som Leilis Kayomu, who come here early in the morning, they leave late at night, they're on the phone with parents, calling, visiting, how can I help? And Rabbeim and the teachers and the moros, this is what makes the Cheder what it is.
Hashem, we have many Talmidim that learn in the Toronto Cheder, and we see in them the growth of Torah, the enthusiasm for Torah, for mitzvahs, and as well combined with beautiful derech eretz.
I can't tell you how many beautiful calls I get from even strangers. You're the principal of the Cheder. You know what I saw from your boys this Shabbos? They came to a bar mitzvah, they danced so beautifully. They cleaned up after the Suda when we needed Chomoshim. They just understand what it means to be an integral part of Klal Yisrael. For me personally, coming here 15 years ago and seeing the school double in size, double in Rabbeim, double in parent body, and seeing the payrots that are being produced. I was 80, and I'm seeing my Eneklach. These kids are young enough or old enough to be my Eneklach. I'm seeing what they're doing, and I'm kvelling.
That it be zoiche to continue to inspire Talmidim in Torah and Yiras Shamayim with Hatzlacha and Bracha, La'arichas Yomim V'Shanim.
I want to dedicate a very special song to the very special Mrs. Friedman. תסתכל פה ושם מסביב לעולם יש צרות דאגות החיוך נעלם אך אל תראה רק שחור כי גם זה יעבור והכל יסתדר כי השם נעזור יש תקווה אם נשאיר כולנו יחד יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד לא ניפול לא נרד אנחנו לא לבד יש לנו השם אחד יש תקווה אם נשאיר כולנו יחד יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד לא ניפול לא נרד אנחנו לא לבד יש לנו השם אחד היי אחי בוא איתי שים ידך בידי אל תדאג אל תפחד כי לצד יד ביד הקדוש ברוך הוא את כולנו אוהב תראה שמחר ייגמר לא ניפול לא נדע אנחנו לא לבד יש לנו השם אחד יש תקווה אם נשאיר כולנו
יש אמונה חזקה מכל הפחד, לא ניפול, לא נירא, אנחנו לא לבד, יש לנו השם אחד, שתקווה אם נשיק כולנו, יש אמונה חזקה מכל לא ניפול, לא נירא, אנחנו לא לבד, יש לנו השם אחד. I see the sun come up this morning, I hear my children laughing as they play. The trees start singing without warning, it's gonna be a wonderful day. You know I got no patience for complaining, to stop and fetch but all the bills I have to pay. Cause even when it should be sunshine but it's raining, my feet will dance me to the kretschma anyway. So manishma, kaktila, blessings they're coming, but you keep on rolling, just stop and sing. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо, life is good, life is great, it's a chance to celebrate. Хорошо, хорошо, it's a party, it's a ball, and ain't nothing gonna get me down at all. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо, life is good, life is great, tzilach yisrael. Хорошо, хорошо, it's a party, it's a ball, and it's three little words, they say it all. Хорошо, ay хорошо, ой хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо. So if it happened that you started to feel dreary, or if your pot of borscht has gotten boiled, before you go and start to get all sad and teary, there's a very special lesson to be learned. Because not only when the sun is out and shining, or when you're racing everything you're trying to do, the master plan is more than just a silver lining. It's a golden world created just for you. What's Machtayit? So how are the kids? We hope for the day when the whole world will stand up and say Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо, from the bottom of my heart, the finish to the start. Хорошо, хорошо, life is hope, you know what I sing, it's you I'm singing for. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо, for the blessings in my life, for my issues high and wide. Хорошо, хорошо, every hour, every day, every breath I take I use only to say хорошо. Ay хорошо, 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 слава Богу, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо, 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 хорошо, хорошо. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо. Ну да, из семья, время праздновать пришло. Хорошо, хорошо, жить любить, смеяться петь. И не просто жить, а очень, очень хорошо. Я бабай, бам-бам-бам, хорошо. Хорошо, хорошо, слава Богу, хорошо. Слава Богу, хорошо. times like these, it's hard to see past the insanity in a reality so uncertain and unknown. Life as we knew it forever changed, and there's no peace of mind to be found. Who can even make sense of tomorrow when our dreams keep crashing to the ground? And yet, as we rise to greet another day, and the sun is still bright up in the sky, always a reason to hope for better times, though it seems like the answer's worlds away. We've got enough, just enough to keep us going, to unbroken simple faith. 'Cause the Eid never breaks, and the Eid never bends, and the Eid never gives up in the night. Eid perseveres through the deepest despairs. His emun, our strength is in for the fight. And the Eid understands that Hashem has a plan, and that's all it takes to make it through. Starting loves him, that's what Eid holds on to. The skies went dark, crowds dispersed on the streets that were once filled with light. But a brilliant light emerged from deep inside our hearts. The shows were and still, but our prayers rang through our homes. Instead of looking out for inspiration, we dug deep and found strengths we'd never known. And one more time, we will rise to greet another day, where every moment's more precious than ever, and life's sweetest little joys, they are the treasure. 'Cause when it seems like the answer's worlds away, oh, we've got enough, more than enough to keep us going, holding on to unbroken simple faith. 'Cause the Eid never breaks, and the Eid never bends, and the Eid never gives up in the night. The Eid perseveres through the deepest despairs. It's a moon of strength is in for the fight, and the Eid understands that Hashem has a plan, and that's all it takes to make it through. Starting loves him, that's what he holds on to. Cause the Eid never breaks, and the Eid never bends, and the Eid never gives up in the night. The Eid perseveres through the deepest despairs. His emunah strengthens him for the fight, and the Eid understands that Hashem has a plan, and that's all it takes to make it through. His starting loves him, that's what I holds on to. Holds on to. Da-da-da-dam, di-di-da-da-da-dam. Oy, 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 Ashreinu. Da-da-da-dam, di-di-da-da-da-dam. Oy, 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 Ashreinu. Di-di-da-da-da-dam, di-di-da-da-da-dam. Oy, 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 Ashreinu. Di-di-da-da-da-dam, da-da-da-dam. Oy, 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 Ashreinu. Di-di-da-la-la, di-di-da-la, yeah. Di-di-da-la, Mikeyam, Choyzerowe. Di-di-da-la-la, di-di-dam-bam-be. Di-di-da-la, Mikeyam, Choyzerowe. Di-di-da-la-la, di-di-da-la, yeah. Di-da-da, Mikeyam, Choyzerowe. Oh, di-di-dam-bam-bo. Mikeyam, Choyzerowe. Di-di-da-da-da-dam, di-di-da-da-da-dam. Oy, 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 Ashreinu. Da-da-da-dam, da-da-da-da-dam. Oy, 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 Ashreinu. Di-di-da-la-la, di-di-dam-bam, hey. Di-di-da-la, Mikeyam. Di-di-da-la-la, di-di-da-la, hey. Di-di-da-la, Mikeyam, Choyzerowe. Di-di-da-la-la, di-di-da-la, yeah. Ay, Mikeyam, Choyzerowe. Di-di-da-la-la, ay, hey. Mikeyam, Choyzerowe. Hoy du Lashem ki toy ki leoylom leoylom chasdoy. Hoy du Lashem ki toy ki leoylom chasdoy. Ay ay, hoy du Lashem ki toy ki leoylom chasdoy. Hoy toy ki leoylom chasdoy. Hoy apa moide es Hashem apa. Hashem, Abba Moide, es Hashem, Ilioilom, Lioilom Chasdoy. Abba Moide, Abba Moide, Abba Moide, es Hashem, Ilioilom, Lioilom Chasdoy. Oy, oy, tiriram, tiriram, la, la. Tiriram, la, la, la. Tiriram, tiriram, la, la. Thank you, Hashem. Oh, yeah, da-da-da-la-la, da-da-da-la-la-la, da-da-da-da-la-la. Thank you, Hashem. Oh. Abba Moide, es Hashem. Abba Moide, es Hashem. Abba Moide, es Hashem. Ilioilom, Lioilom Chasdoy. Oy, 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 Abba Moide. Abba Moide. Abba Moide, es Hashem. Ilioilom Chasdoy. Tiriram, tiriram, la, la. Tiriram, tiriram, la, la. Tiriram, tiriram, la, la. Thank you, Hashem. Hey, tiriram, la, la. Tiriram, tiriram, la, la. Tiriram, tiriram, la, la. Thank you, Hashem. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, la, 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 oh. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Ay, ay, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. La 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 yo. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. La 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 la. Oy oy, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. La 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 yo. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Ay la 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 ro. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, hay la 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 yo. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, hay la 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 la. Oy oy, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, la 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 la. Baruch Hashem, Baruch la 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 la. Tidiram bamba, tidiram bamba, tidiram la la, tidiram la la. Ay da da da, tidiram la la. Ay da da da, tidiram la la. Oh ay 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 ay, tidiram la la, tidiram la la, yeda yeda. Oh yo, oh yo. Ay la 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 la, ay da da da, ay da la la. Da da da. Ay ay tederaram nararam tederaram 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 tadilaram tederaram 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 irarara ira tararilaram Diddy da 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 di la da. Da 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 di la da. Diddy da 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 di da da. Diddy da 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 di la da. Diddy da la da. Oi 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 da. Diddy da la da. Diddy da di da da. Oh! Oh, da-da-da-dum, ya-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, ya-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, dee-da-da-dum, dee-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ma-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, yo, dee-da-da-dum, ya-da-dee-la-dum, dee-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dee-la-dum. Oh, yo, oh, 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 ah-da, dee-da-da-dum, dee-da-da-da-da-da-dee. Mono de onde la di yo ve ya ne ve no oh racamono de onde la di yo ve ya ne no ui racamono de onde il spire il libo oh oh ya ne no oh ya ne no ui racamono de onde il spire il libo. Ay, rajamono de onde il spire il libo oh oh ya ne no oh ya ne no rajamono de onde il spire il libo oh ya ne no oh ya ne no.
If everyone can please take your seats, we're going to bench shortly. If everyone can please find your seats so that we can get to benching. As we close this evening, I would be remiss not to give a proper thank you to all those that made this whole campaign a huge success. Starting from our charity campaign to tonight's events, and Rabbi Gopin, I'm going to argue with you just one little bit. Numbers do matter, and I'm proud to say that we have raised for the Cheder our goal of $2.5 million. To my fellow dinner committee members that worked tirelessly over the past few weeks, this year we had double the fun with 2 campaigns going on, and yes, you did need to call everybody twice. I will surely miss the WhatsApp chat overload, but we wanted to thank your wives who have allowed you to be so heavily involved. Thank you. Rabbi Shmuel Horowitz, here it comes. Your devotion and trademark smile, all while pushing us to get our task done. You have got us here, and thank you. Mrs. Weiss and her amazing staff in the office, you are the hallmark of dedication, and may Hashem repay you for all you have done and continue to do for our dear Cheder. And to Shaya Weiss, who thought he would not be mentioned, hello, Shaya. A special thank you to Mrs. Chavi Gestetner for all the arranging, and I think we all enjoyed your handiwork tonight. A thank you to the Cheder board and Hanhala for their steadfast guidance and commitment, as well as their unwavering support to the Cheder family. Achrein Chaviv, to our incredible Rabbeim, teachers and moras, for giving our boys the foundation they need to grow into true Bnei Aliyah. Thank you again for coming out tonight, supporting the Cheder. We're now going to bench. There are magnets and popcorn, 1 per family outside as you're leaving. Sorry about that. Every car you have can get a magnet. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
Test.
Yeah. Here.
He wants his own. Slide over. Special pipes to it, which make it sound better. Your mic is better. You didn't want to take his mic. My mic has a...
Shira malois b'shuv adoinoi es shivas tziyoin hoyinu kechoil mi ozimolei schovoik pinu hu l'shoineinu Rino Oz Yoim Ruv so isim eile hi gdila doy no ila so isim onu ho inu semechi shuvo adoy es shiviseinu kafi banege azoiri bedimo berino yiktoiru
Rabosai Merville mention. Yehi Shem Adonai Mevarach Me'atavid Olam B'Shus Rabbanan Nemeran Rabosai Nevarech Eloheinu Shechalim Yishalom Baruch Eloheinu Shechalim Yishalom Tevo Chayinu Baruch Atah Adonai Elin Malach Haolam Azan Esol Olam Kolo V'Tavo B'Chem V'Kezer Rachamim V'Nesin Lachav V'Asar Kel Kasto Yutevo Agadol Tamilo Keser Lanu V'Yeser Lanu Azon Laved B'Vor Shema Gadol Ki Yosan Afarnis HaKol Umitiv lakol umichin mazon l'chor v'yosef asher bara baruch atah Adonai hazan es hakol. Baruch atah Adonai al haaretz v'al hamazayin. Yerushalayim Yer Kodesh v'mhira v'yameinu baruch atah Adonai b'nei baruch hamav Yerushalayim. Amen. Barachamim v'chaim v'shalom v'kol tov v'mikol tov v'olam ha'yakasreinu.
Kumsit starting now. One more minion for Mariv outside.
Livovi mishkan evne lada kivoidoi ulemishkan mizbeach osim lekarneyoidoi. We would like to invite anyone who wants to participate in the official Kumsitz part of the evening to come join us over here near the stage. Bilivovi mishkan evne ladar kivoidoi ulemishkan mizbeach osim Likarneyoidoi Ulinei Tomide Kachli Sei Shoakeido Ulikoribona Krivlo Yes Nafshi Es nafshi ayechido ulinei tomide kachli esei shoakeido ulikor ribona krivlo yes nafshi es nafshi ayechido. Bilivovi mishkan evne lada kivoidoi mishkan mizbeach osim likarneyoidoi ulinei tomide kachli esei shoakeido ulikoribona krivlo yes nafshi ayechido yeshvu zekeinim uzkeinois Birchoi vois Yerushalayim Oid yeshvu zekeinim uzkeinois Birchoi vois Yerushalayim Meiroi viomim Veish mi santoi biodoi Meiroi viomim Ay 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 urchoi voi sawi gimalo Yilodim ve'ilodois mischakim Birchoi voiseo Oid yeshvu
Zekeinim uzkeinois Birchoi vois Yerushalayim Oid yeshvu Zekeinim uzkeinois Birchoi vois Yerushalayim
Oy veis mi santo biudoi Meiroi viomi Veis mi santo biudoi Meiroi viomi Oy 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 urchoi voi soim babalu Oh yilodim ve'yilodom vois mesachakim Yilodim ve'yilodom Shem Hashem Elohei Yisroel Yimini Michoel Umismoili Gavriel Milfonai Oriel Beachoirai Refoel Vevei Vial Roi Shishchin Naskei Mshuvay Mashem Elokei Yisroel Mimini Michoel Umismoili Gamriel Milfonai Oriel Umeachoirai Refoel Yalroi Shishchin Askei Oy loy siro mi pachad loy loy siro mi pachad loy la 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 lo lo hey ches yo imo Loy siro mi pachad loy loy siro mi pachad loy da 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 oh beches yo yo imo Hashem B'Sevei Mashem O Yisimcho Eloikim Kefrayim V'chim Menashe La 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 Yisimcho Eloikim Kefrayim V'chim Menashe La 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 Yevarechecho Hashem v'yishmerecho Yovavei Hashem povonovei lecho v'choneko Yisov Hashem ponovei lecho v'yosem lecho sholoi Kaya yivorechecho Hashem v'yishmerecho Yovavei Hashem povonovei lecho v'choneko Yisov Hashem ponovei lecho v'yosem lecho Ki Lashem, Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Ki Lashem, Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Ki Lashem, Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. U'Moshe Ba'ava Goyim. Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Hayim Moshe Ba'ava Goyim. Ve'hoyo Hashem limelech al kol haaretz. Ve'hoyo Hashem limelech al kol haaretz. Ay, 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 vayoy ma'u. Ushmo boyecha. Ve'hoyo Hashem limelech al kol haaretz. Ve'hoyo Hashem limelech al kol haaretz. Ay, 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 vayoy au, oh, Hashem echad, Hashem echad, u'shmo echad. Ki Lashem, Ki Lashem, oh, Ki Lashem, Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Ki Lashem, Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Ki Lashem, Ki Lashem, HaMelucho. Moshe Bagoyim. Ve'hoyo Hashem limelech al kol haaretz. Ve'hoyo Hashem limelech al kol haaretz. Ay, 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 vayoy ma'u, oh, Hashem echad, Hashem echad, shmo echad. One more time. Ve'hoyo Ve'hoyo Hashem, oy, oy, Oy oy vayidal ma ben Moishe Moishe hat uns also gesagt I ben meyo v'yesrim on noy chiyayoy hier gei valdaroy in noy lomuel yoin het was ich so wo gei khatzin da zog ich fayet yidi shikin ki hamitzvo azoy o yasher noichi mitzavecho ayoy loy nifleis imimcho veloy rechoy kohi loy nifleis imimcho veloy rechoy kohi I loy bashamayim leimoy hoy mi alelonu ashamayim ay vei kocheo lovonu ay vi ashmiyin wo iso vinaseno ay veloy mey velayomi leimo mi avolonu eleverayo ay vei kocheo lovonu ay vi ashmiyin wo iso vinaseno loy nifleis himimcho loy nifleis himimcho veloy rechoy kohi ki koroy vein lecho adovor meyoy ein lecho adovor meyoy ki koroy vein lecho adovor meyoy ein lecho adovor meyoy ki koroy vein lecho adovor meyoy ein lecho adovor meyoy oy ki koroy ein lecho adovor meyoy ein lecho adovor meyoy oy 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 ki koroy vein lecho adovor meyoy beficho vilvom vavchola soy soy ki koroy vein lecho adovor meyoy beficho vilvom vavchola soy soy ki koroy vein lecho adovor meyoy beficho vilvom vavchola soy soy Loi nifleisi mimicho Veloi rechoikohi Hoi loi nifleisi mimicho Oy veloi rechoiko
Do a special song for Levium.
Kahadiasvi Yisrum Vail Yoskim Yoskim Sim Chasatoiru Ki Yichu Berichi Oy mai Oy mai Lifama Leobodilai Kahadiasvi Yisru v'ayl v'yoskin Hay v'yoskin B'simcha satoyeru Ki yitsho berichi Oy mai lefamali Yovodilai Ay 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 Chazi 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 Ay bonai chavivai Chazi chazi bonai chavivai Oy dem ishtakhi B'tzar odhile oy V'yoskin b'chedes odili Chazi chazi bonai Bonai chavivai, chazi, bonai chavivai. Hayde mishtakhin betzaro, tzaro dileoi, vioskim bechedves odili. Ay 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 chazi, chazi, chazi. Oy bonai chavivai Chazi, chazi, bonai chavivai Oy dem ishtakhi Oy b'tzaro dilei V'yovoski b'ched v'sodili Chazi, chazi, bonai Bonai chavivai, chazi, bonai chavivai. Hayde mishtakhin betzaro, betzaro dileoi. Yoskim bechedves odili. Oh, mamleches kohanim, v'goy kodosh, v'yatem tiyuli. Mamleches kohanim, v'goy kodosh, mamleches kohanim, v'goy kodosh, v'yatem tiyuli. Mamleches kohanim, v'goy kodosh. D minor. Mamleches kohanim, v'goy kodosh, v'yatem tiyuli. Mamleches kohanim, v'goy kodosh, mamleches kohanim, v'goy kodosh, v'yatem tiyuli. Mamleches koyanim v'koy kodoy. Azei kir yovosi keile loikim hevevelioim veoshei esni vosi besimcho vigoyoim chasei si eile loiki evlioin yosei esni vosi besimcho uvigoyoy shoireru sobre Hashem Shabbos hayoim Hashem Bishoireru shomrenu nai Hoy leviyai v'choyanai Oz tisan agal Hashem Shabbos hayoim l'Hashem. Vosi Eile loikim elioim Veoshei esni vosi Besimcho uvigoyoim Chazei kiryovosi Eile loiki evevelioi Veoshei esni vosi Besimcho uvigoyoy Shabbos ayoy Shabbos ayoy Lashem Meshkochech Yerushalayim Tishkach Yemini Tidvak L'shoini Haylevechiki Imloi Eskideveichi Meshkochech Yerushalayim Tishkach Yemini Tidvak L'shoini Haylevechiki Imloi Eskideichi Im lo yale es Yerushalayim Hoya roish simchosi Tiyitbak li shoyni lechiki Im lo es kireichi Im lo yale Shoyni lechiki Im loy es kireichi Im loy es Thank you, Yashin Koya. Fine gewesen. Otsin Charasho.